Nagash has 9 Mortarks. Arkan the Black, who loves riding Nagash's dick, and Frid. He's bald and low-key a bum. The Nameless, Unk on the Pension. Vlad the Chad, the Goat. Luther Harkin, Pirate King. Walric Harkon, still needs to lay off the tramp. Krell, got that chain and ball with old man Hiram Kilmer. Neferata, ew, no girls allowed. Dieter Helsnick, I really don't know nothing about him. I just think his undead manticore is pretty cool. But whatever to tell you, there's a secret 10th one. As he's gotta go and take back Nagashizzar and resurrect Nagash, as he's the coolest Mortark of all of them. Trust me, bro. Azhag starts his journey north of the World Edge Mountains. We then jump the morbidly obese pack of men, then recruiting a shaman, Poo Smasher gets Tilbit. Azhag slaughters through the obese man's buildings like butter to a knife. Shout out to Battle Standard Bearers. I will always use mod for the rest of my life. It is a mod made to be in the game. We got a new orc boss, and we called him Big Ricky Doodah Tizzybit. The Chuds immediately attacked us, trying to roar Azhag down their throats. Azhag in the game beat the living out of these Chuds, but mid-battle, we lost. Poo Smasher gets Tilbit. I didn't notice this until the battle was over. This action will not go unpunished, as we force-fed these little fat Chuds their greens, killing them in the process. Then headed down south as we met Neferata. She is a vampire lord ruling the Silver Pinnacles, having an empire of spies. She has been many named, called like the Beautiful Death, Queen of Lamia, Night Queen, Queen of Shadows, Queen of Sephora, Eternal Queen, Lady of Silver Mountains, Queen of the Dawn, First of the Vampires, First of the Damned, Daughter of the Moons, and finally, Queen of Evil. Not even gonna bother with her story. She just gotta go. This blood bag is not good for Nagash's approval. Clearly, this is a sign from above that Nagash wants me to crump her out of this mortal realm. We declared war on the vampires, placing our first log on them. We got a new lord, which we called Little Snot Jew, and a hero, Nasty Patty Hattie Clara. We quickly cornered the void, sieging the castle. Azhag's boys climbed the castle walls, while another half of our forces were waiting in the back to jump the reinforcements. The boys soon got in the castle walls and fought for a long time, but the undead wouldn't break, as there was enough for us to play. A mod called Pop Necromancy gave them perfect vigor and unbreakable, so the zombies wouldn't break until the lord died. Which, we had low health and we simply spirit aged.
J'aurai ma vengeance.
After crunching Neferata, Vlad von Karstein, the big Chad, all of a sudden wants to become friends with us. But the inner orc in Azhag is thinking we should whack this kid. But the crown, detecting this, corrects us in our mistake into accepting this friendship. But to satisfy the inner orc in Azhag, we declare war on Ungrim Iron Fist. We march towards the capital, Karakak Kadra, but met this oddity calling himself Kimril Giant Slayer, the conceptual ancestor of all slayers. This man pioneered all these suicide cults, giving me tumors throughout my life. You'd assume the suicide cult would charge headfirst into finance, but no, he ran away. We chased the coward all the way back to Karakak Kadra, cornering him in his capital as we planned to siege it. Karakak Kadra, the Slayer keep that guards the region of Mountain Pass.
It is one of the strongest dwarf holds, viewed as impregnable. Karakak Kadran has never fallen, but Azhag shall change that. Without a doubt, adding himself to the grudge books for what he shall do to the dwarfs of this hold.
The boys split the wall, slaughtering the first line of defense for the dwarves. The dwarves sended wave after waves of dwarf slayers and longbeards over the bridge, though our giants and orcs were light before them. Azhag's boys, slowly by slowly, pushed their way through the bridge, getting close to the end of the bridge. But the stunties made a choke point, placing their cannons on the sides, firing on the forces. The dwarves held the line, stopping Azhag's forces, as the gyrocopters dropped bombs from the sky, as their dwarf correlers fired on our giants. But the green tide broke through, slashing their bolt throwers, their correlers, and engineers. Azhag's boys jumped Kimril, and when Kimril fell, the battle was won. Azhag sent his forces down south to get his armor and quest back.
Those stupid flouncy humans think they can trounce all over our sacred ground. That burial mound is Mork's property, not some fishy-smelling lake house. Flippin' hat, stop whispering at me, I know! Come on, lads. We're gonna stamp these kids and send them running back to their pretty towers. I've had my vision from Mork himself. He reckons we do this, it's gonna sort my armor out real good. And I won't have to knock you all about. What's that? Yes, we'll go south afterwards. Let's go and kill some knights!
Azhag the Slaughterer started his story in the chaos-corrupted lands of Troll Country, somewhere north of the Old World. Chaos warbands raided this area very heavily and hated the green-skinned tribes residing in this area. Azhag was a minor chieftain of a tribe in Troll Country and met said Chaos Warriors. Azhag couldn't beat the Chaos Warriors and was forced to send his forces into an underground labyrinth of ruins that was called the City of Tottenheim, which was flooded with demonic forces. Azhag's tribe kicked their butts, but Azhag himself wandered into a den of a multi-headed chaos troll. Azhag slew the monster with ease and looted his inventory, and found a cool crown called the Crown of Sorcery, an ancient artifact that had belonged to the Big Nagash. But Azhag didn't read the description tab because who reads that? On the description tab it had Curse of Binding, and I guess something about a piece of Nagash trying to possess whoever wears the crown, then leads them to Nagashizzar, where his master is at. Insert Lord of the Rings joke. Plus giving them dark sorcerer's powers, doesn't really matter. He placed the crown on his head and instantly flash-flooded the whole series of One Piece lore into his mind. He gathered his tribe and led them out of Tottenheim into the surface world of the Old World. Azhag continued down south and met Thorgrim Iron Fist, the Slayer King. He's the Allfire of the Drakebeard clan. He also is the king of Karak Kadran. He is oathbound to protect the city, though we did just flood the city with a green tide, so he might be a little angry. Ungrim's army was a hard army to beat, but not impossible to beat. The only problem was Ungrim was a one-man army, unbreakable slayer, beef to the max. He was a real problem that won't go down. It took a gang of trolls to put him out of his misery. After the battle, we got a few regiments here now. Crimson Dawn, Nuggets the backcomer, Drilla Wall Fight the Power, Little Gork that could, and Big Purple Dong. As if things couldn't get worser, High King Thorgrim Grudgebearer declared war on Azhag. He was right on the border. High King Thorgrim Grudgebearer, the last king of the dwarves. He's the keeper of Karazak Karak. He keeps account of all wrongdoings anybody did to the dwarves. In a book, writing them off mid-match, though he was called the last king of the dwarves. Maybe since he got backstabbed by a spy from Team Fortress 2. Luckily, we got him in Underway. Thorgrim's armies marched towards us in a funnel line, as underways are a single lane line. Our forces waited for them shores to march over, while Azhag went ahead on to take the gyrocopters and catapults, as the Stunnies helped us to watch. Thorgrim's army still marched ahead as we laid fire on the Stunnies. We soon sent our monsters to ravage their front lines. Thorgrim barreled forward towards the front of the battle. As soon it became a giant mess of blood. Thorgrim was soon cornered and beaten shorter than ever before, plus he ripped off his beard.
After sending this senile old man back to the old folks' home, we immediately took Karazak Aktarak with no trouble. So Azhag decided in all his glory to do his quest battle to get his sword.
These savages are getting my way. They're led by some kid called Slagger. I want his head. Shut up, crowd. This is not a waste of time. We kill who I say we kill. The plan's simple. I want a full pincer movement. Attacking from the east and west flanks at the same time will increase our chances of success. What? Sonny Deadblood taking up my words again. Get your choppers out, lads. It's time to move. Yeah, if you want to do that flanking maneuver once in, we probably should, because I've got a feeling it might work.
From the day Azhag wore the crown, when he received all the knowledge of One Piece, it was never the same. He started muttering by himself like a crazy person and staring off to the distance. He spoke in an un-orcish voice, probably the voice of Luffy. The reason why this was happening because a piece of the big Nagash was in the crown, trying to tell him to go find the One Piece. Get your crew, march down north, as that's where the One Piece is located at, Nagashizzar. The only problem was Azhag liked Demon Slayer. Sense of this, he was completely brain dead, making it impossible for him to go north, as when the big Nagash tried to control him, the peanut of his brain was too strong, like hitting a brick wall. But no matter, the crown still tried to advise him, helping him by using Elixir Collector card, which in turn promoted him to War Boss, which he set his eyes on converting all orc tribes into loving Demon Slayer too. The tribes were united under one anime. He even got a wyvern, which was known to be impossible to control as adults, so he gave it a dark aura stare to subdue the beast, and gave it the name Skull Muncha. Now with a band of orcs that worship his anime, a crown that boosts his spell cycle, and a kick-ass ride, he was ready to start a wog. The big Azhag has set his eyes on the Empire. Within moments of victory, Clan Vulcan declared war on Azhag. He's a part of a pathetic clan. He doesn't even have a seat on the Council of 13. They have a strange fondness of warp fire throwers, being covered in soot. At least I hope that's soot. Azhag took Black Rat, the most sought after city for the orcs. But another clan of rats, hearing Azhag was going to bring back Nagash, declared war on us. Clan Moors, led by Queek Headtaker. Even though it shows him as the main lord, in actuality, he is the right claw of Lord Nodwell, their true leader, who has a seat in the Council of 13. Their clan is a warlord clan that is known for their exponential loyalty to their leaders, as Skaven are known for their backstabbing higher-ups. But they're still a rat, so this loyalty only takes them so far. Barrel rolled right into Azhag and sent his full force to kill Azhag. Azhag flew straight into Queek's army and their forces, destroying all their war machines, laying spells on them. But Queek's army was massive and sent them straight towards Azhag's army. Azhag had split his forces to hold the oncoming onslaught, and their reinforcements, which were coming from the back, soon became a mosh pit of blood as Rat gnawed faces off, a giant bashing a rat in the ground, while orcs minced them into pieces. Azhag took the opportunity to jump Queek. He was helpless and soon died, ending the battle. After the battle, we did Azhag's final quest for the Crown of Sorcery. The Crown of Source Oh, I guess this can't be right. I guess this is all in his head. Well, damn. Well, it's time to complete the dream. I guess we wake up.
Alright, lads, here's the plan. We're going into this lost city, but before we can rummage, we're gonna clear out all them undead things. Give them a good kicking once we've killed everything. No one's to go looting until I say so. This is my plan. I get the top bits. I'm in charge now, and I need a tiny boss axe. Anyone who disobeys will get a boot up their backside. Remember, this is a cursed place. The shamans don't like it, so no messing with stuff you don't understand. If you summon something from the void, you'll have to deal with it yourself.
Azhag led his forces into Kislev, then into the northern empire of Ostalin, spamming his spell cycle all the way. But the humans of the empire didn't know this, and assumed he was a brain-dead orc that would smash his head in the wall and use the hog cycle until the Battle of Butcher's Hill, where Azhag got his name the Slaughterer, when he used a horde of goblins and snotlings to trap the humans in the pincer movement. Azhag slaughtered and clipped the remaining defenders with his spell cycle, earning his name. He moved down to Osterwald, where his downfall began, as the Emperor at the time hated Demon Slayer and spell cycle decks, sent the Knights of the Panther to hard counter his spell cycle with the Three Musketeer deck. In the Battle of Osterwald, Azhag decided to send his mount to fight while he sat in the back spamming spells, most likely Rage and Poison on repeat. The Crown though had enough, as clearly he wasn't gonna get the One Piece, and tried to take control of him, but the peanut of his brain put up a fight, so Azhag soft-locked and froze. And the Grand Master of the Knights of the Panther, Werner von Kriegstad, seeing this, took advantage and slain Azhag. Without Azhag, the Greenskins ran, realizing Demon Slayer is mid, while for the crown, the Empire's Grand Theologist took it to Altdorf, where it was placed in the vault of a holy temple of Sigmar. Ugh. The end. That's it. That's the end of the dream. But this Loki sucks. And this ain't the books. So if Guy Fieri and Joan of Arc can still be alive even though they're dead long ago in the books, so can we. Azhag is taking Nagashizzar and completing this dream. Azhag's forces march towards the end of the journey, their ultimate goal of Azhag and the crown. They didn't understand why they were here, but the fight was there, and they love a good crumpin'. The rats, scared for their lives, not wanting the god of the dead coming back, marched forward toward their deaths. Azhag's forces laid fire, having two lines blocking the underway fully to hold any forces from circling around them. The rats sent rows of Skaven, one after another, whittling down the front lines. We bring our back lines immediately afterwards to replace them. Our heroes barreled through rows of rats, turning them into roadkill, and Azhag was having the time of his life. Our Black Lords cleaned the vermin. Our rogue idol smashed rats by the dozen with his body. Blood was spilt, corpses by the hundreds and thousands. The rats ran as far as they can, losing, desperately clinging to everything they could. Azhag's men stood proud as they marched towards Nagashizzar's doors into the cursed city. We were given a prompt. We were unable to move and given a choice. Fight or die. We came here to return the crown, so I guess we die. Hi guys, it's me. Hope you liked the video. If we reach 5 likes, I'll make another video. Maybe on another of one of Nagashizzar Mortarks. Another note, if you did not like the video, please comment "Drang on me," or you hope I get cast by Spear Leech. Besides that, Nagash, save us! Nagash, save us! Please give us the sea giant. I beg you, Give us the bone giant with great weapons. Please, Nagash, save us.
Foyd, you know no bounds of my love, Foyd.